Well, one's still got to keep a balance with regards to anything, including chocolate. Now, parents across the world are challenged each day to prepare meals that are not only delicious, but interesting too, as well as healthy. Now, to help us with this culinary conundrum of how to perfectly put it all together is Woolworths dietitian Cindy Chin. Cindy, good morning. Welcome to Expresso.
Thank you.
Okay, so I've got quite an alarming statistic here. According to the 2012 South African National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, get this, over 13% of the country's youngsters aged between 6 and 14 are overweight or obese. Yeah. That's quite hectic. What are some of the key factors that are leading to this statistic?
I think there's such a combination of factors. It's the fast-paced lifestyle, dual income families where both mom and dad are working, so there's less time. There's sedentary lifestyle, internet, all sorts of sedentary activities that kids do, and there's safety issues as well, where parents would rather keep their kids indoors and send them outside. So there's so many factors that affect activity and lifestyle and the ability to cook, and I think that all contributes towards obesity. The other alarming thing is that overweight or obese children tend to become overweight adults, and then it just prolongs the whole problem.
It's learned behaviour. You know, we learn bad eating habits from a young age, and we just continue that throughout our lives. Yeah. Keeping that in mind, what are the fundamental components that need to be on a child's plate to make sure that they're getting a balanced diet?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of common sense, but at the same time, chatting to a lot of moms, they want a bit more guidance, and I think it's about variety and moderation, and also it's quality over quantity.
Yes.
So choosing nutrient-dense foods, and what I mean by that is like whole grains instead of refined white carbs, like things like that.
Okay.
Proteins that are, foods that have protein in it, so like lean chicken or fish or that sort of, or dairy, those sort of nutrients.
Okay.
And all those sort of components that we know about, but then we sometimes forget, or we think, okay, the child eats pasta, so let's load the plate up with pasta. Yeah. And then they fill up so much with that stuff that they actually don't have space for anything else. Yeah. So try to include a little bit of every food group on a plate, and don't let them overeat on their favourite food.
Yeah. You also mentioned a bit earlier on quality over quantity. How much of this should we be giving to our kids?
So I'm very much one for serve a small portion first, and if your child still seems hungry, then offer more. Because often they get overwhelmed with the amount, and then there's this thing about, I must clean my plate. Do you remember that?
Yes, true story.
Finish your greens, otherwise you can't have dessert. Yeah. And I think then you create a reward-punish sort of relationship with food, and I'm very much one about a relaxed atmosphere around food and just cultivating a good relationship with food with my kids. I do that myself.
Absolutely. I was at a wedding the other day and I saw this little girl. She started eating her broccoli first. And I thought, oh my word, as a child, I would make up some reason why I couldn't eat it. And I asked her why, and she said, my mom taught me always eat the things you don't like first, and then you can have the things that you do like. So that was a pretty interesting way to look at it.
It was interesting, but I'm all about not, because they're probably like stuffing it in and not really enjoying it.
True story.
So I'm trying to always, for my kids as well. I mean, classic dietitian kids, they don't really like vegetables. So I try to put it in a way that they love it. So in a stew, in a sauce, in a gravy, or I've started doing those spiralized veggies, which the kids love. They don't eat baby marrow when it's cut into blocks, but as soon as I spiralize, they eat it.
Interesting.
Make it interesting, be creative, get them involved in the cooking process, and get them involved in the shopping as well. Say, would you like to try this vegetable or this vegetable, not this cookie or this vegetable? Obviously, they're going to choose the cookie.
True story.
So just make it fun and exciting and engaging as well.
Because we want them to grow up to be healthy adults as well. Oh, thank you so much, Cindy Chin, joining us here, talking about how to make nutritious eating fun and creative as well. Over to the rest of the team.